Hello guys, and welcome to the third episode of the Devlogs. This week I will be working on loads of really exciting things. I created a list on my Trello board of all the tasks that I wish to complete this week. Firstly, I want to redo the code for droppable items. I want them to be batch rendered instead of rendered individually. Next, I want to add more crafting recipes. I will add wooden blocks, string, and crafting tables into the game. And then, keeping on the topic of crafting, I will make it so that players have a 2x2 grid in their inventory, but by using a crafting table they will unlock a 3x3 grid. There will also be 2 or more crafting outputs so that there can be multiple items made from the same recipe. And lastly, the most exciting thing, I want to give pickaxes the ability to sustain damage and eventually break. The first thing I actually worked on was fixing the crafting bugs. As you can see here, when I drag an item from the crafting output to the crafting table, the item is completely lost. I also fixed the bug where dragging an item to an inventory box that already had a different item in it would cause the item to disappear. I changed the code to disallow dragging from the crafting output to the crafting table, and also to disallow dragging and dropping crafted items onto other different items. You might be wondering, how does the crafting system work? No? Okay, well I'll tell you anyway. Algorithms. Are you happy now? Was that explanation short enough for you? Just kidding. If only it was that simple. A for loop loops through all the boxes in the crafting table. It creates a string of 1s and 0s, where 0 means the box is empty and 1 means... Listen here kid, you're a programmer. Do I have to tell you everything? The code then looks for the object key that matches the string.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Look, I want to finish this, okay? There's another for loop that loops through the array of recipes in that object and checks the crafting table to see if the recipe matches. If it does, then boom! You just made the wrong thing because you put the stone block in the wrong place. Now, does the code suck? Yes. Will I fix it? Well, can you lick your own? And that's the first item done. The next thing I worked on was the code for the droppable items. Originally I was rendering each dropped item every time I updated the screen. As you can imagine, that was a very stupid idea. Very inefficient. What was I thinking? Not all items will be on the screen at the same time, and there might have been multiple items at a certain XY coordinate. Also, I was using a giant nested for loop. I guess the fresh grad from earlier was right. In the end, I batch rendered the items every time an item was picked up or dropped by a player. Basically, I divided the items into chunks, with 100 blocks per chunk, and when an item was added or removed from that chunk, the chunk was re-rendered off screen and then re-rendered in the game. It seems simple, but it was actually quite hard, because what if a block was removed from the top of a chunk, but there was dropped items right above it? The chunk above the current chunk would also need to be re-rendered. And what if those items fell further? It would have to find out what chunk the dropped items fell from. It's done now though, so I can finally forget about this horrible tragedy that is this piece of code. And that's task 2 complete. I then added more crafting recipes into the game. To do this though, I decided that I should reorganize the tile sets so that similar items are grouped together. This makes it a little easier to add more items into the game. While I was at it, I created the textures for bone and iron pickaxes, and also bone, stone and iron shovels and axes. Here are the crafting recipes that I added into the game. I added string, wooden blocks and crafting benches. I want to simplify this recipe in the future though. I also updated the recipe for pickaxes to include string. And that's another task done. Wow, I'm really flying through these. The next task on the list was to give the player their own 2x2 crafting table in the inventory. I also made it so that the crafting table can be opened by clicking on a boulder or a crafting table itself. I will change this though in the future when I simplify the recipes for crafting tables. And boom! 2 more tasks done. 1 left to go. The last task I had to complete this week was to add damage indicators to tools in the player's inventory. As you can see here, I added a damage indicator for pickaxes. So at the moment, pickaxes don't get damaged unless you use it to mine stone, iron, gold or diamond. Here's a quick little demonstration of what happens to the damage indicator when you mine ores with a pickaxe. And that just about wraps it up for this week. If you liked my video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you all next time.